I'm excited because tomorrow's the Weeknd concert. I don't know if you know who that is. Please don't.
Yes, Mo, I know who The Weeknd is.
Fuck, man, you didn't know who Drake was last week.
No, I knew who he was. You specifically asked me, if Drake passed you by in the street, would you recognize him? And I said, I probably wouldn't. But I know who he is. Once I looked at the photo, I'm like, oh, that guy.
Right.
So,
I mean, with that though, it's like, how many light skins are there in Coquitlam that look like Drake? Like, if Drake walked in Vancouver, you would be like, this guy just doesn't look like he's from Vancouver, right? But anyway,
fair enough.
Yeah. The Weeknd concert. I'm a big Weeknd fan. For people that know, that follow me, I'm like, it's weird how much I love the guy. I'm gonna be pretty cringy tomorrow. I'm gonna be over to the top. I'm gonna have a couple drinks.
Do you feel a little bit of anxiety before going to that concert? How are you in crowds? Have you been to a concert since since everything went back to normal?
I went a few weeks ago to this MGK concert. I'm pretty good, honestly. I'm not. There's times when I'm pretty anxious and like I'm just looking around. You know, I feel like people are looking at me, but tomorrow it's a different story, man. I'm there for the man. I'm there for fucking, the fucking show. I don't care who's around me. I don't care what anyone's thinking. I'm just there. Like, he's the one guy I've been wanting to see and he canceled a couple times before, so he's gonna put on a fucking spectacle, an absolute spectacle. 4 seats with my buddy Jake. Shout out Jake, my day one, my brother. Dude, I'm gonna be singing like a girl. Like, every song he plays on.
Good for you.
I'm gonna be singing like,
oh God.
What makes a grown man wanna cry? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be yelling that. I can't wait. I just can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good night. I need a good night like that. I don't know if I don't know if you're into any artists that you're like that you would be like that for, but I don't see you as one of those people that are like gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm not really like I'm not like that. I mean, there definitely are. There's certain bands that I like more than others, and I don't go to a lot of concerts, but when I do, I have a good time. I mean, sometimes sometimes I sing a little during the concert. No, seriously, I do. Not a whole lot, but I do.
I don't see.
If it's a song that I really like during the chorus, I'll sing a few notes.
I feel like you're one of those guys that are just like in the crowd, just like, oh yeah, just like very like conservative.
I don't get
in your own bubble. You're not like all around fucking just punching people.
I don't get too crazy, but yeah, I have a good time. I'm there for the music. I'm not there to. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna be constantly screaming through the whole show. That's just not my persona.
Well, that's me.
Good for you. You do you, buddy.
I might punch a couple people around me just for fun. Not even because I hate them or anything.
Mo's joking. He's not going to actually do that.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that. He's not that kind of. He's not a violent man. He's a very gentle soul.
I might choose violence though tomorrow. It's the weekend, man. It's dark. Exo tweet overdose.
Okay.
Exo. That's his slogan.
Right. Jeez. Let's get down to the first order of business. Do you want to talk about this TikTok person? We got a clip here from someone named Linz Rosso talking about. Well, I guess she's from Vancouver. You brought this clip to me, and she's talking about. She goes on and on about how we'll get to the clip in a moment. She just goes on and on about how men, she has certain standards. She doesn't go into a lot of detail about it, but guys here don't really approach women. And when she does say hi to guys or try to talk to guys, they always seem surprised or they freak out because they're not used to women talking to them, which I can actually understand because that is a thing. A lot of us, I would say in general, a lot of people here West Coast culture. I don't want to say all of Canada, but it's definitely something I've observed that everyone's busy doing their own thing.
Right.
And it does, not a lot of people want to talk to strangers.
I have a huge issue with the video.
Really?
By the way.
Let's just start a little bit of the clip just so people know what.
Just to before we start dissecting the fuck out of this video. I don't know this girl. I don't have anything against her. I'm not disgusted by the video, but I'm not a fan of it at all. And I think it's a bit toxic, and the mentality and the perspective she's coming from is just exactly what we do not need. Exactly what's wrong, and we're going in the wrong path with the things she said. So like let's get into the video, and we'll stop it and we'll analyze it.
If you're single in Vancouver and you're having a hard time dating, I'm here to validate you. I've lived in Van for like 7 years this summer. And when I moved here, I broke up with my boyfriend from the East Coast because of long distance.
Okay.
And I've been single for 7 years.
Okay. So right off the bat, she says she's been single for 7 years. She says it in a way like it's a bad thing, where there are people that have been single for 7 years or more. And I get what she means, because some people do judge others for being single for a really long time. Like what's wrong with you that you haven't been in a relationship for that long? There must be something wrong with you, right? There's some sort of stigma with that, but it's not true. She comes off as a little bit insecure about it, obviously. So right off the bat, I don't agree with what she says there. So,
basically ever since I moved here. My standards are here, and the guys are meeting me like here.
So her standards are here, and the guy. Okay, so what are your standards? She doesn't go into what her standards are. What? Because if you're gonna get into it, if you're gonna talk down on men, tell us what your standards are. Let's talk about it. What, you can't just say standards are here and men are down here. Okay.
Well, she might not be meeting the right guys. I definitely think that we need some kind of follow-up video to this, right? Because she doesn't go into detail. So we don't know what her experiences are. We don't know maybe she just happens to have met the worst of the worst. This is a big city. Right? Like any city, you're always going to find good people. There's lots of good guys around. Right. In any city, guaranteed. Right?
So what I mean is, if you're going to make a video on TikTok about talking down on men in Vancouver, you better have a few points of what your standards are. We kind of need to know. Right? You can't just say my standards are here and the guys are here. What gives you entitlement to say that your standards are here and the guys down that you're seeing in Vancouver are here? What's proven that, right? Okay, so.
And I will say one thing. I always tell my friends, Vancouver guys aren't my type, but to be fair, I'm not theirs either.
So Vancouver guys aren't my type. Okay, my issue with that, the thing is, she generalizes all Vancouver men by saying Vancouver guys. She doesn't say a population of Vancouver guys, a majority of Vancouver guys, some Vancouver guys, just Vancouver guys. Okay, so A, that's ignorant, and B, that's not true. Right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, somewhat. I don't want to jump ahead because she talks about, she made some interesting comparisons too. I think there is definitely a cultural difference.
Let's not get into that though. That's for the rest of the.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. I just don't want. I don't know her, right? So I just don't want to pass any judgments about her specifically.
No, and 100%. Right. We're not judging. We're not saying anything.
Yeah.
The fact that she has high standards, that's great. She should have high standards. Everyone should have high standards. But for her to say guys are this low on her standard list, it's like, whoa, okay, so what?
It sounds
all guys like what? Really, like all guys in Vancouver are this low, right? Like,
I think you're taking it a bit negatively, though. I don't think what she's intending to say is that guys are down here with respect to they're just scum or anything like that. But you know what I mean? Like we don't know. I don't know what the scale is, right? In terms of her standards. Maybe her standards are perfectly reasonable, right? And maybe the guy, when she's saying guys down here, maybe it's just that those guys are so far below an average. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can keep going. Keep going with the video because I have something to say about that later.
And dating in 2022, no matter what city you're in, is just so much harder because of social media and because of the dating apps. But girls, let me tell you, I just spent 3.5 weeks in England, Greece, and Italy, and it is not a problem over there. I had one night in London before I went to Greece for my friend's birthday, and
keep going.
I had not one but two guys approach me organically, and I literally don't remember the last time a guy talked to me in Vancouver.
Perfect. Okay, stop there. So,
yeah,
I'm glad she said it. She named 3 European countries. It's a different culture in Europe. People there are actually open to conversation. People approach other people to get to know them, to have a good time, to talk to them. In Vancouver, especially girls, most girls in Vancouver, they have a fucking guard up where if you go up to them, they will put you back. Like they have a defense up, man. Like, don't even talk to me. They're very unapproachable. It's based off my own experience and the people around me. People in Vancouver, generally, most people are not approachable. Like, if you approach someone here, it's kind of like, what do you want? You're creeping me out, or I just don't really want to, like, talk to you. So why don't, like, especially girls here. Like,
well,
if you...
I think that girls have to be, women have to be especially careful. And, I mean, anywhere where they are. More so now than ever, I think. So I can understand that, but I see that with both women and men. It's not just women, men too, right? I think a lot of people are very standoffish, right? You know, they look at you like, why? Sometimes you don't even get a response, right? I'll say good morning to people, just something simple like hello, good morning, right? And they'll be either they won't hear you because they're too busy on their faces buried in their phone, or they just look. Sometimes people will just look at me and give me this look, and then they just walk by and they don't even acknowledge it, right? Anytime somebody says hello to me, I always acknowledge that. So that even something simple like a greeting, I don't get that.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just a whole different culture here. Like, you can't. It's very hard to approach someone here, especially women.
Yeah.
A guy approaching a girl, like, the girl's gonna have a fucking guard up. What does this guy want? Is he being creepy? And being creepy is creepy. Creeps are creeps. Like, if you're being a creep, then that's your fault. Like, you shouldn't be like coming off as a creep. But like, if you know, the reason why guys don't really approach women here is because we're fucking afraid of being turned down and just like, you know, treated like we're fucking doing something wrong. And it's just totally different in Europe. And that's why, you know, that's why she got approached. Right? So, you know, I'm glad she said, like, the countries she talked about was Europe, because it's a whole different mindset there. People actually want to talk to each other. Here, people don't really want to talk to each other. It's true. It's standoffish, like you said. Like,
I think guys are, and I know people who have been to Italy. I'll just talk about Italy, for example. But and there are other countries like this too. But guys are, it's quite normal for a guy to walk up to, or just even walk past someone, walk past a woman and give them a compliment. But that's kind of frowned upon here, right? And I get it. People have bad experiences. Nobody, catcalling is not cool. That's not something I've ever done. I don't understand that. But it's much more common in Europe for guys to compliment women, and women, I've talked to a lot of women that live there and they don't have a problem with it. So it's very culturally, it's totally different. I'm not sure where that comes from though. I don't know why people are that way here.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
Either. I don't know.
It's weird, right?
So the point is, when she says that no guys ever approached her in Vancouver, and she got 2 guys approaching her in the same night or whatever, like it has a big part to do with the fact that guys in Vancouver don't want to do it because they already know that, from their experiences, that like girls here are just not approachable. Very unapproachable, standoffish, will fucking look at you, like look the other way, think you're a weirdo. So guys just don't do it. Like, it's simple as that. Right? It's just totally different culture. So with her saying that, like, it's like, there's a reason why you're in Europe. Europe's different.
Why don't we play a little bit more of this clip here?
Yeah.
So I'm in London. I have a flight the next day, and I go to this rooftop bar. Cute guy sits next to me at the bar. We end up chatting. He is an absolute catch.
Okay, stop it there. Hold on. Okay. So
there's nothing wrong with that. That happens
Alex.
here all the time.
Stop.
That happens all the time here.
I get it, but I'm talking about the context of this video that she made.
Yeah. She's saying it doesn't happen here.
Oh, okay, great. But what I'm saying is, so her standards, cute guy that bought her dinner, that is a catch. Okay, so start of the video when she's standards are here and Vancouver guys are down here. So it's based off looks, buying her dinner, and being a catch, which I don't really know what that means because she doesn't elaborate on that either. So, like, that's her standard, being cute and buying her dinner. Like,
well, when you say someone's a catch, it's kind of that term encompasses quite a few things, right? So, as far as the way I would define it, it would be, person's good looking. They have the looks down. They're in good shape. They are funny. They have a sense of humor. That's important to me a lot. They are independent, right? Hardworking, good work ethic. Like, there's a lot of different variables, and maybe means a little bit of a different thing to somebody else. But for me, like when someone says that person's a catch, that's what it means. It's not just one or two things. It's not that simple.
So she got all that in the span of 3 hours in a night. So she got through all that.
I'm not going to comment on that because that's
in a night. She figure out who this guy is based off what you just said.
It's a fair point. It's pretty hard to really tell, to really get to know somebody. You don't really know somebody in 3 hours, right? They may seem like a catch. I just see this. Look,
that's what I mean. This video makes no sense. I'm just trying to, like.
I would never ever say that about somebody that I just met for 3 hours, like over dinner. No way. You don't know that.
And isn't it weird that this guy met her and took her to dinner that same night?
No, I don't think that's weird. Why is that weird?
Well, girls here would think it's weird. I don't think it's weird, but like.
Really,
girls here would probably think it's weird.
I don't know about that. We'd have to interview some people.
Well, okay, my point is...
You're making an assumption. You don't know that.
All right, but what I'm saying is the first thing she says is he's cute, bought me dinner, and what was it? He's a fucking catch.
Right.
Okay, so right off the bat, you're talking about his looks,
mm-hmm.
currency,
right?
That he exchange, like he bought something for you,
Yeah.
and he's a catch, where I don't know what a catch means. So you value looks, money.
Maybe he's successful.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know. She doesn't.
We're missing information.
I have a $50 million company.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we don't know. We don't know.
okay, keep going.
Okay.
And he bought me dinner. Then we moseyed to like a night place, and he was really nice, but at that point I was kind of getting friend vibes, so I kind of wandered off.
What does that mean, friend vibes? Like what?
I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna guess that she means that she's not really compatible, right? Because somebody could be good looking, they could have a lot of things going for them, but maybe there's a certain. Have you ever like met somebody where you feel a strong connection to them? There's just a spark. There's something there, and it goes beyond just their looks.
Yeah, but she's on vacation. She just met this guy.
Right.
What? She just met this guy. You're not gonna see this guy ever again.
Yeah.
Where is she? England?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, is this guy gonna get on one knee and fucking like? I just don't like. There's a lot of inconsistencies with this video that I just don't make sense, and I'm gonna reiterate what my point of why I'm not a fan of this video is at the end. But like friend vibes, what's a non-friend vibe? Like what did you want him to do? Right.
That's a good point.
I just
I'm curious too.
She doesn't elaborate on anything, which is like fine. It's a fucking TikTok video. I'm not asking her to give us a fucking rundown of like everything. But okay, keep going.
All right.
And I kid you not, I was at a bar for 60 seconds before the next guy came and said hi to me, who was also gorgeous and so nice.
Okay, stop. Okay, so case in point number 2. What does she refer to first? Looks. He was gorgeous. Okay, so one of your standards obviously is physical attractiveness. All right. Hold on. Guys, my standards are here and guys in Vancouver are here. The way she described this guy, he's nice. He's nice. Okay? And he's a catch. Which, again, we don't know what it is. That's a mystery. Fucking Scooby-Doo. Like, you know? Like, what do we... like, the way you were explaining your standards before, it doesn't connect. He's gorgeous, and he's nice, and he's a catch. Come on. You gotta, what do you, like, you can't tell me that just doesn't sound not the smartest.
Well, it feels weird as we're dissecting this too, because it's kind of interesting because you have a very different perspective than I do, just because of our age difference. So I look at a lot of stuff that people post online like this, and I just see someone who's possibly naive, just inexperienced, and they're young and they don't know any better.
Okay, sure, but
that's the way I look at it. I've met people who were in their 20s that just were a lot more, what's the best way to describe it? They had, I don't know, it's not that they had more life experience, but some people are, I guess, a little more discerning, right? They wouldn't go for dinner with someone, you know, hang out with them for 3 hours and then say they're a catch. They'd probably go on a lot of dates. Maybe after a month of dating that person on a regular basis, you'd sort of start to formulate some kind of judgment about who that person really is.
Right. She seems pretty sure of herself.
She's super confident.
Apparently she knows what her fucking
super confident.
Are.
Hey, maybe she has some kind of maybe she has some kind of maybe she has some superpower that I don't know of.
Yeah, who knows?
Right? She can really cut through people and really see who they are. I don't know.
Engage laser.
Like Superman, like laser beams right through somebody's soul. I don't know.
She does, then
who knows?
Fuck, all hands on deck. My God, she has every right to say her standards are higher than anyone else's, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, let's go.
And I know on vacation you bring this other like kind of energy, like you're in vacation mode and you're just, you know, you're like the best version of yourself. But what are the odds that I had two amazing options come to me in one night in London, and I like socialize, and I am on the seawall, and I'm at the beaches, and I'm on the patios, and I'm out there, and I'm not shy. Like, I've said hi to guys in Vancouver, like I have no problem.
Okay.
Two amazing options. Oh God.
I mean, also, it's have you ever heard of the word coincidence? Like,
Just in the right place at the right time.
right? And it goes back to what we said before, man. It's just not part of the culture here to approach other people, especially women, because women are standoffish here, unapproachable, and they'll just look at you like you're about to fucking do some harm, whereas you just want to fucking talk and have a good time. But it's just not how girls here fucking receive shit. They don't look at it like that. So guys just don't do it. So that's your answer to that. In Europe, anywhere but Vancouver, honestly, I feel like other places in Canada are relatively normal to the rest of the world, but Latin America, Europe, it's part of the culture to actually approach different people, especially like when women get approached, it's sort of like they're gonna, conversate, they're gonna talk.
All right. Let's finish up what she had to say here.
Okay.
We're almost done.
Like, I've said hi to guys in Vancouver, like I have no problem approaching guys, but they're always
okay,
like,
can I say something about that?
Totally freaked if I do.
The reason why guys get freaked because rarely girls here approach guys. So when a girl does approach a guy, it's like, whoa, what the fuck? It just seems weird, right? Like, for the guy that she's talking about that freaked out, that's a little over the top. I wouldn't freak out. If she approached me, I would think to myself, well, okay, this is new, this is different. But I would talk to her. I wouldn't be freaked out.
Well, I mean, she might be exaggerating too. I mean, who knows? But I'm never freaked out when a random stranger starts talking to me, but it definitely, depending on what's going on, if I'm looking down at my phone, sometimes it's just, it takes me a sec to kind of snap out of it for a sec. But yeah, I've never freaked out when someone approaches me. But you know what? I think it's because to a lot of people now, we rely on dating apps, right? With the internet and stuff like that, because it's so easy. It's so easy to just swipe left on or swipe right on somebody, and I think we've become too reliant on that, because before the internet, before cell phones, you had to make an effort to go up. You had no choice. You had to actually leave the house, get out and talk to people. And I think people's social skills have atrophied in a way that's not good, that's not healthy. And people we've seen increases. We've talked about mental health too. And if we want to weave that in to the conversation, we've seen generalized increases in anxiety disorders, just people struggling, people having a hard time. And I think social anxiety. I think a big part of that can be attributed to the internet and online dating. I think it's a real problem. It has a lot of advantages because you can vet people. Like you get to see, assuming people are of course honest with the information that they put in their profile, because that's also not the case. People lie about stuff all the time, right? But assuming that someone, let's say their profile is honest, it's much more easy for someone to just vet their profile, really dig through and see, okay, well, this person's interested in this, they're not interested. Okay, like, and then do I click with this person and just start having a conversation? And I think removing that face-to-face conversation reduces the initial anxiety of like, oh, if I go talk to this person, what if they say no, right? The worst thing they're going to say is no, I'm not interested. I don't want your number, right? But I think it's created a real problem for guys, especially.
Yeah.
Well,
in this context,
and I'm talking about straight guys, but I mean, I'm sure in the gay community too, it's a problem. I think this is a human problem. Like, it's just an all out human problem that this has created. I mean, do you use online dating apps at all, or
I did? Are you
kind of a combination of both? Like, you use online dating, but you'll go out and try to meet people. Is that what's your approach?
I don't really. Yeah, I've used online dating, but I don't.
Yeah,
it's not really my thing.
Why is that?
Well, for me, I don't. It's just kind of. I mean, I find it kind of greasy.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of it. For me, it's hard to get matches, to be honest. So I don't know. I just don't. I'm too lazy to, like, it's on my phone. I have the app. I just don't go on it as much, right? Like, I'm kind of lazy with it. I don't know. Something about it just turns me off. Something about it.
That's really interesting that you say that. What kind of dating apps have you used?
We're really getting into this, huh?
Well,
okay. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge.
Okay. Bumble is that the one where only women?
Yeah,
I think they have to message you first, right?
The girl has to.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of a fresh approach. I don't know how well that works, but
it's hit and miss.
It's kind of cool.
It works sometimes, obviously,
yeah.
But yeah, Hinge is like the new thing that's like been very popular recently. But
one time I was using Bumble for the first time, and
baby,
someone messaged me.
By the way, you're single, right?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay, ladies.
Someone
a night, Alex Night.
Settle down there.
Like the nighttime.
Someone messaged me and she said, "What do you?" First thing she said was, "What do you expect to get out of Bumble?"
That's a very common. It's actually pretty common.
And I was completely honest, and I replied, and I didn't get a response back, and I don't care. I don't really care.
What was your response?
Oh, I don't remember. I said something like,
"Digging your guts out."
I was just I said something like, I'm just looking to connect with. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just looking for like a.
You said I was looking to connect?
No. I said something like I'm looking for something to develop organically over time.
Oh man, that's too scientific, bro. You sound too smart for that.
Well,
that's Bumble, bro. You're not writing an article for a fucking.
See, my high standards is intelligence. So someone's gotta meet me at this level, and everyone else is down here.
Fuck. Oh man.
Is she done? She's still going on. I think she's
or
10 seconds left.
Organically, bro.
No, I said something. Yeah, it was something to the effect of like
organic chemistry.
No, I was being totally honest though. I wasn't looking for anything serious, and I was just looking to meet really interesting people. And if something, it's like I'm happy to meet people and just make friends with them. I'm not that kind of guy. Like I will be. I'm happy to be friends with someone.
So
that's a
your
girl.
level of standard of being like that. Like one thing about dating apps, I don't want to generalize, but most people that do use dating apps are just not that level. They're just not that, intellectual. It's sort of like a hookup thing, right? They're looking for a hookup, not to develop a connection organically. You know what I'm saying? Like
my first question is usually, please recite your multiplication table. Up to 12, because if you can't do up to 12, don't even look at me. No, I'm just kidding.
To be honest,
I can't.
I kind of.
I don't think I know my multiplication past 10. Actually, to be honest.
For some reason, I kind of would believe that you would say that.
No, I would never say that. I would never say
You'd
that.
probably be like, "Who's this poem from? Who's this fucking?"
Do you know who William Blake is? My favorite poet.
Yeah. What's your favorite John Grisham book?
Where's my scarf? Where's my scarf?
Where's my scotch?
Alex, it's 40 degrees outside. Why are you wearing a scarf?
Yeah. It's 40, buddy. She's like, "Hey, man, it's 40 degrees.
Well, I suffer for my art.
I'll do anything for it. I will die to the bone."
I just, you know what it is? I don't know if it's that I'm too pessimistic or too jaded, but I find that a lot of people disappoint me, to be honest. Yeah,
you and this
a
girl.
lot of people disappoint me. Yeah.
Yeah?
They do. And it just, the moment I make certain judgments about somebody, the moment they start talking, because I can usually tell, I can tell in about 10 seconds if we're going to get along. It doesn't take much.
With anyone or like a woman?
Anyone, guy or girl. I can tell in about 10 seconds if you're going to drive me fucking crazy.
Did I drive you crazy the first time we met?
No.
Be honest.
No,
actually be honest.
No, I'm being honest.
Because I remember I didn't know a fucking thing about the fucking mic I bought from you.
My background, I love helping people, and I've done sales for a long time, and I've done a lot of different jobs in the tech industry that were service-based. And so I'm usually a pretty patient person, and that's why I like helping people, like trying to help people like you, and also pay it forward in some way, because a lot of people have helped me in the past, and I try to help other people. I'm trying to, obviously I have a business and I got to make money and stuff like that too, but I give lots of free advice to people. I enjoy, and I'm not looking to get anything out of it other than I'm glad I could help you. I'm glad I could get you going in the right direction. I mean, I sold you a bunch of hardware to make your podcast, right? And I tried to help you as best as you could, and you tried to run with it. And I was happy to do.
Work out.
Didn't exactly work out all that well, But you made it.
I had no.
You made
time I brought the
you made an
mics
effort.
out- yeah, I made an effort. Every time I
Yeah.
brought the mics out, though, I just saw nothing. I looked at a piece of equipment that had a bunch of buttons on it, bunch of colors, and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna turn this one to the right.
See what happens.
Yeah. Okay. How much? We're not done the TikTok video. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds to. It's the final countdown.
Let's just wrap up this segment here. Okay, let's see how she's gonna leave this video.
Okay.
So, if you're feeling like Vancouver is real rough, who wants to go on a trip to London? But for real, it's not just you. I don't know what's going on.
Do you really think London? Honestly, people always think London's I'm sure a great city, but people always think the grass is greener on the other side. Every city's got their problems. There's scumbags in every city. I don't buy that London, or just pick any city anywhere in the world. I don't buy that it's always necessarily better. I don't think
Of course
that
not,
people are
dude.
going to be better necessarily in any city.
Bro, of course not.
Are there cultural differences? Of course there are cultural differences. I've lived in Vancouver all my life. I think Vancouver's a phenomenal city. I'm not going to rag on Vancouver as a city. I think there's lots of great people here. You just need to know how to look,
All right, yeah.
right?
And that's the thing, man. I just don't like the fact that she generalizes all men in Vancouver to being low standard, whatever the fuck that means, based on her assumption, based on her fucking criteria. Okay? I mean, she looks at looks. She likes looks, apparently. And they have to be nice and a catch. With
Who doesn't think about that?
Yeah.
Who doesn't think about looks and someone being nice?
Right.
Those are qualities that everybody wants.
So my problem with this video is that this is a growing theme around men in general around the world. And it's being infiltrated in Vancouver, obviously, like based on videos like this. And it goes back to what I've said on previous episodes, where men are at a disadvantage right now in the sense that we have to wake up every morning, and especially in Vancouver being so expensive, right? Guys wake up here, we are grinding to make money, to provide, have a certain fucking social status, how many friends we got, who we are, our social media presence, our physique. Do we have our own home? Do we have our own car? Right? Like, if she described those things in her standards, that would make more sense. Even though I don't agree with that standard, because it's pretty it's more so unrealistic to have those standards, especially in Vancouver. It's very hard to maintain in Vancouver right now. Okay? So my issue with that video is she's downgrading men. She's looking down and talking down on men that are trying to make something out of themselves and are continually comparing themselves to others, worrying about where they are in life and if they're doing enough. And imagine you like stumble upon that video. Like how awful is a guy gonna feel having all those thoughts, having all those self-judgments and self-doubts about themselves that they're already having, and then they watch that video, right? And it's just that's the narrative women are pushing right now, and I just don't like it. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right for men. I don't think it's something. I don't think it's healthy. Yeah. I don't think it's very toxic.
I just want to push back just for a second on some of the things that you talked about, because I think, you talked about status, right? You got to make sure you work hard. Can you afford a home to live in? That sort of stuff, being able to provide for people. But also, those are all important things too, but those are also traditionally, like, you're talking about traditional roles, right? In like a typical relationship between a man and a woman, right? And I'm sure there are plenty of women that are very, much like men, very career focused, right? They're focused on making money and getting a promotion. So I also think that there's lots of women that focus on that too, that feel stress, maybe even from their family about reaching a certain level. But also I think a lot of people put that on themselves. It's not always coming down from their parents. It's just they have a certain lifestyle maybe that they want to live. I don't know anything about this person.
And that's fine. I'm not saying if she wants that, she wants that. It's great. I just don't like the way she's putting it.
Fair enough.
Girlies, let's go to fucking Europe. Let's go find those guys that are there. The fuck is that? It's not a good look. And I think a part of it is she is wanting attention, obviously. And she did get that all through the comments. I saw so many girls' comments saying, "You're right. I love that. I agree. You keep those standards up, girly." It's just it's like a cult of women now thinking that way and putting men down. Like, men have to live up to such a high standard, and I just don't like the fact that videos like that, things like that.
You're saying it makes it worse for men?
Yeah, it's
when guys
toxic,
guys are
man.
Watching this stuff.
Yeah, I was triggered, man. My buddies that I sent it to were triggered. What gives her, first of all, what gives her the right to basically put all men in Vancouver down like that? She did. She did. I know, don't give me that look. She did.
Well,
essentially saying that no guy is of value to her other than being gorgeous, nice, and being a catch, which we still don't really know what she means.
I don't know. Maybe I have too much faith in people, or I'm too optimistic. But I'm interpreting that video slightly differently from you. But I mean, I'd want to give her the opportunity to. I mean, if she wants to come on the podcast, or even just record a reaction video to this when we put it out. But I just feel like we probably need to know a little bit more about who she is specifically. And also the other thing too I look at, and I'm not singling out her specifically, but just anybody that complains about this type of stuff. Oh, I can't, people don't want to talk here, and it's so much better everywhere else in the world. Well, also, if it's that much of a problem for you, why are you living here? Why don't you move to London? Why don't you move to Italy?
Yeah.
Right? People want to talk trash about what it's like in Vancouver, and Vancouver's not a perfect city. We have a lot of problems in this city, namely how expensive it is to live here, and I don't think that's ever going to get better. So there are legitimate reasons to not like Vancouver for lifestyle wise, because people can't afford to. There's a whole new generation of people now that are just never going to be able to own a home here, right? So, but I mean, also, I'm so tired of people complaining about this city. If you don't like it, move somewhere else. Especially if you're young. If you're single, you've got no kids, you're not married, you have no attachments here, that is the perfect opportunity to just try new experiences. Go somewhere else. I mean, I'm 40. I'm not going to do that now. I like Vancouver.
Yeah.
I like this city. I deal with it. I know how to navigate the waters, so to speak. Right? Because I've been doing it for so long. But would I enjoy living in another city somewhere else in the world? Sure. I mean, I love traveling, but I think there are a lot of good things to love about this city, and I genuinely like the people.
Beautiful city, man. Don't get it twisted.
I like the people here.
It's fucking beautiful.
I like the people here.
You like the people here?
I do.
I do too. I mean,
I meet.
It is very unapproachable at times.
I meet lots of lunatics, but overall, I like people. I think most people are pretty good here.
Right.
You think most people are unapproachable?
Yes.
That's been your experience.
I wouldn't even say unapproachable. I've approached people before. I've approached women before. And it's not like they don't talk back to you, and you guys don't talk, but you can sense that they're not comfortable for whatever reason, or they're just like, fuck off. Like, I don't need your conversation right now. I got my own shit to do. People are just like very stressed out. They're worried about like what they're going, and rightfully so. It's
maybe that person that you were talking to is gay, and they're not into men. We have a lot of gay people in this city.
You're just fishing for shit to like fuck. Yeah, like maybe very could be so, but I don't know. And in regard to that video, she should thank her Vancouver girlies for making guys not approach women, because they're so unapproachable and will shut you down. They will shut that shit down if you approach them and try to have some sort of decent combo. So she can blame herself and her people. Maybe not her, because she says she's, outgoing. She likes to talk.
Yeah.
But the majority of women here, man. So where she's coming from, she doesn't. I guess she just moved here. She's new. In the grand scheme of things, she's new to Vancouver, so she doesn't know what it's really about. Right? She doesn't know the fact that, yeah, you're right. Men don't approach women because we're fucking. There's no point. We're not gonna get anywhere with it. It's not gonna be a polite combo. It's just gonna be a rude, standoffish vibe, and that's why we don't approach. So she's, I mean, I just also don't, yeah, I mean.
It's interesting because we were talking about this before we hit record, but my personality's kind of, I'm not standoffish, but I also don't really actively, there are some guys that are constantly actively seeking out, like they're always hitting on people and trying to get phone numbers. I'm not that kind of person. I just don't do that. So I guess I can see how somebody might also interpret my behavior as standoffish too. That I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't talk to.
That's just greasy. Yeah, I get it.
I don't talk to a lot of.
It goes both ways. Like there are creepy fucking weird dudes that do too much. So I'm not.
It's all in how you approach someone too. There's a way, right?
Right.
There's a way to approach somebody and strike up a natural conversation.
Right. Yeah, I'm not letting guys off the hook. Like some guys are weird.
I'm not saying you should, it's kind of weird when you just go up to someone, hey, you're hot, can I have your phone number? You don't do that. You gotta have some game. Like you gotta, I don't know. Like you see someone sitting on, you see someone sitting on the train, maybe they're reading a book or something, and you happen to know that author. You might casually mention something. Oh, I really like that author. Just like find some way to connect with someone.
That's something. You know
what I mean?
That's not something people do here because it's just
it's rare.
It's very rare.
Yeah, it's gonna come off as what? Well, how would that come off? You think?
I don't know, man.
To me, that's harmless.
People get uncomfortable though. I don't know what it is.
Why would you feel uncomfortable as someone?
I don't know.
Someone.
Trust me, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you.
I feel like we need like we need a woman in the room to ask this question to, because I don't see how
it might come
anyone
off creepy, would. It might come off as.
Well, you got to also read body language too, as a guy.
Yeah, and
like if I start talking to somebody on public transit, it becomes pretty clear like right away if they don't want to have a conversation with you, and that's fine. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're just trying to unwind after a busy day. I get it. You don't want to talk? That's totally cool. Does not bother me. Where it becomes a problem though with some guys is they don't let it go, right? And then for some guys they get nasty. I see this. Well, I'm too good for you. You don't want to talk to me, like that kind of behavior. That's shit. That's shitty.
Of course, yeah.
And those kind of guys also, They set up.
It's like a vicious cycle because when they do that, the girl has a guard up.
Right, and they're never going to want to talk because of people like that.
Yeah. No,
right?
I get it, yeah. Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, man, I just, like, that video, like, there's a lot of nuances, there's a lot of different, like, angles to that. But I just wanted to, like, clarify to her specifically that there's different levels to it. There's different things that come with it, right? Like, it's not as if guys don't want to approach you. It's just that they might be afraid because you might fucking turn them down, like shut that shit down and just make the guy feel shitty about themselves. So they just don't even bother. Right? And that's just the thing. That's just how a lot of girls are here. Right? And it's not just me. People have told me. Many people have told me that that's how it is, generally speaking. Right? But I mean,
that's interesting. I've actually kind of enjoyed this conversation in a weird way because it's really interesting hearing where you're coming from too on this.
You know what's crazy, dude? Let me give you what I mean.
Okay.
My friend from Montreal, he lived in Kelowna for a year because he played basketball here. And he refers, and he came down to Vancouver a few times and stayed here with me, and we hung out. And he stayed here for a couple weekends. And he refers, like, he labels Vancouver girls as like a way to describe something. So when he's because he's in Montreal now, and he even says, like, oh man, Vancouver girls are different. Like he'll describe a girl saying, oh, she's like a Vancouver girl. And I'll be like, oh, okay. I get what you mean. She'll be telling me about like a date he went on, and he'll describe it as, oh yeah, she was just like a Vancouver girl. It's almost like a stereotype with Vancouver girls of how bad they are and how unapproachable they are at times. Some of them, not every single one. But there is an attitude here. There is a certain attitude where like people from other places come here and they're like, whoa, what the fuck? What is going on here? And then when they go back to wherever they're from, they're just like, oh, dude, Vancouver's different. Like, Vancouver girls are different.
You know what?
There's
Maybe
something about them.
Maybe I might actually be way off base because I'm so out of touch. I don't see it, but maybe I'm way off. Maybe you're right. Maybe that is a real issue. Maybe that's how a lot of people are here, and I'm just not seeing it. I don't know. I'd like other people to comment. For those of you watching this, if I'm way off base, tell me, because I'm just maybe I'm totally clueless.
It's not just women, man. It's everyone. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people just like
in general, just people like even visiting.
Yeah, just visiting,
and just they notice
people
this.
here are very standoffish, very.
I could see that.
Tight.
Yeah.
Pretentious, kind of.
Oh, pretentious. Yeah, I see that.
Very pretentious. They're doing their own thing. They don't wanna associate. It's hard to really like if there's a friend group and you try to join that group, it's like it's near impossible unless you have some I don't know, it's very cliquey, right?
I saw this as somebody like I went back to school full time a few years ago, back in was it 2016 to 2018. And it's weird because when you go back to school in your late 30s and you haven't been in school since maybe early college or even high school, it's weird. I definitely noticed there were groups of people that would hang out together, and it was very hard. Like it's hard to make friends with people, right? You see this in a lot of places, in a lot of environments where people like to stick together. And then it's really hard to get to know people because they have their own groups and they don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, especially in school, when you see this in university for group projects and stuff like that, people always go back when you have to have like a partner on a project, and they always go back to the same people every single time, right? You see that a lot. Mm-hmm. And
I'm not, dude. This isn't new to me.
I think I actually
isn't like.
I think I actually might be wrong. I think I might just not be seeing what's really happening here.
You're not seeing it, especially in like the dating scene where you go out.
Well, I don't go to clubs. I haven't been to a club in over 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
So
like just different social events. It's just. You gotta earn. It's like you almost gotta earn the right to stay there and talk to these people, right? I don't know. And that's just goes back to the differences in culture. Like in Europe, Latin America, there's no issue with that. You go up to someone, you talk. You go up to a group of people, you talk. They will accept you for who you are, and they'll talk back to you. You might not hang. I'm not saying you'll become best friends with everyone, but they're also not gonna just push you to the side where you gotta earn our fucking attention. You gotta earn some sort of thing, right?
It's really interesting because I'm going to Greece for the first time in a couple of weeks, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna have to report back when I come back here about the differences in culture. But my dad, the last time he went to Greece, he even said there were times where a group of strangers didn't even know him, but they knew he was a tourist from Canada. Well, he was actually born in Athens, right? But total stranger. You don't know who this person is. And they invited him to dinner at a restaurant, and they're paying for they wouldn't let him pay. They don't even know him. They bought him appetizers, drinks, everything, paid for everything. Complete stranger. That would never happen here.
Of course not.
And I was even shocked. Who does that? Who invites a stranger?
Even you say that. Who does that?
But who does that? Right? You always have your guard up, right? But they're a lot more trusting there, and they want to get to know you. And the hospitality is through the roof there. They're kind to everybody. So there definitely is a difference in other cities.
Also, imagine if a guy made that same video about girls in Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that.
Different reaction. Different reaction. Negative. More negative.
You
for sure.
Kidding?
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy would be fucking just. He wouldn't be. It's social suicide.
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. That's for sure.
Right? Like, imagine that. A guy going up on TikTok saying how.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure guys do that. I'm sure people do that. I don't know how what the responses are like, but it's probably not good.
No. Well, from hers, it's all.
I didn't even look at the
love comments, supporting.
Right. It's all her
and
people she knows, probably for her friends. I don't know what her followers.
There's a lot of comments though.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
Like 95% women, right? So that just also goes to show like women are thinking that way, which is not cool, man. Like girls need to understand, going back like in the context of that video, girls need to understand that men are trying. We are trying. Right? And to just blatantly straight up say that guys in Vancouver are just not cutting it, like what? It's very ignorant. And it's just not, it's kind of dumb. Because you're generalizing all men. Right? And whatever standard you have in your head, which we don't really know because you don't explain, she didn't elaborate on it. But we do know looks is a big part of it. Right? So if that's the case, then I don't know. So you don't think any guy is good looking in Vancouver? Right? Like, if that's the case, then you gotta reassess your standards and your priorities if that's the case, right? So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, man. There's just a lot of it. There's a lot of going back and forth with that video, inconsistencies that she doesn't even realize she's.
Fair enough. I think we've probably gone long enough about this. We've picked it apart. We might have to
we just fucking
see if she wants to come on from the podcast.
We fucking just destroyed the video, like dissected it like a fucking morgue, fucking biopsy.
There was something else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up. Yeah. What do you want to get off your chest here?
Man, I watched one of the most fucked up movies the other night. What night was it? Saturday night, I believe, or Friday night. One of the nights.
What you watched? You watched a horror movie or something?
Yeah. So I stayed in. I didn't decide to go out, and I searched up on YouTube top 10 scary movies, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos, obviously, and I clicked on one of them, and this girl was narrating it. And before she like started describing this one, it was like a top 10 list. And before she started like describing it, she gave it like a discretion, like a warning, like do not watch this it's very disturbing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm watching that. That's it. Dude, I haven't been so fucked up over a scary movie in over like 10 years. It was so insanely twisted and just demented that halfway through the movie, I basically I saw one of the scenes where I was like, wow, okay, so that scarred me. I can't get it out of my head. I can't get it. I can't forget about it. So I just got to finish the movie now. Like I saw it. It's over. There's a point of no return. Okay? And by the end of it, I closed my laptop and I just felt violated. I felt like I did something wrong watching
Okay,
it.
well, so what movie are we talking about here? What is it called?
For people watching, for kids watching, listening,
Yeah.
don't do it. It's called the Poughkeepsie Tapes.
The Poughkeepsie Tapes. I'm going to look it up. I like horror movies. I don't watch a lot of them just because most of them disappoint me.
So,
But
this was like the format of the movie is like it's like a mockumentary, right? But it's not a documentary. It's
Right.
just formatted that way.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they cut to like the videotape scenes, and my fucking God, it is creepy. And dude, it's just fucking. It's one thing that movie made me realize, because it's loosely based on a true story, because there was a Poughkeepsie killer. The events in that movie aren't necessarily true, but it is inspired from different serial killers and what they did.
yeah. Is it violent?
Oh, dude, it's it's not necessarily jump scare scary or gore scary. It's just psychological and disturbing.
I like those kind.
There are
the best kind.
There are some torture scenes where I was like, wow. To think that someone would be able to do that kind of shit makes me fucking just not. It's just undescribable, man.
Yeah, I'm generally not a fan of torture movies, and I'll never watch it again. But the first time I watched, I only watched it once.
Yeah.
But the first Hostel movie bothered me a lot. Have you seen Hostel?
No, I've definitely heard. Like,
Okay,
I've
all right,
obviously
so-
heard of it, but
There are, like, the underlying concept of it is these young people that are just backpacking and traveling into Europe, and I can't remember what city it takes place in, but anyways, they basically get taken from this hostel, and there's this like let's see if I remember this correctly. There's like a group of very wealthy people that get off on torturing, and they specifically target these transients that they know probably are not going to be missed, right? These aren't well-known people, and so they target these people, and they get off on torturing them. And I can't remember if they do it for money or anything like that, but there's this one scene in particular where they've got, I think it's it's either a nail gun or they're drilling into somebody's eyeball.
oh,
And it's so visceral, and it made me like, I almost couldn't. I have a pretty high tolerance for violence, but it really bothered me after I watched that, like, because it looks so realistic. I'll never watch that movie again. I'll never watch it again. But on the other hand, and I think it was Eli Roth that wrote and directed that movie, and I do like him as both as an actor and director. But the whole point of a filmmaker is to make you feel something emotionally, right? Good or bad. So you felt something when you watched this movie. You were disturbed.
yeah.
You probably thought about that movie for days after, right?
A couple days, yeah.
So it did its job.
Yeah.
It did its job.
Dude, it did its job and more. Man, I fucking closed after the movie ended, man, I sat there thinking, why?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did I even, like, my life would have been so much
Did you
better if
sleep
I
with the lights on?
No, like, I'm not. That's the thing, though. I'm not scared of like the fucking killer coming and doing that to me. That's not it. I know I'm gonna bust that fucker open. Like, if he came at me, I'm giving that guy the business. Right? It's not that. And you know what's crazy? It's never the villain. Like, the guy doing it is never like a 6'8" fucking behemoth. It's always like some average looking fucking twerp, which is like even more fucked. Because,
Yeah.
Because there's more of that in society.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not worried because I think that guy's gonna come in and fucking stick a fucking carrot on my ass or anything. But it's just man, and it's heavily directed towards women, which is also, if you're a woman, I would advise you to really think about how your mental state is at that point of watching it, because it's super fucked. And that's the thing, man. I thought I had a high tolerance because it's been years since I've been like disturbed from a scary movie. The last movie I was fucking shook up on was Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
that hit me hard.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
it's okay. I mean, it's. Do you does extreme violence bother you? Like torture, somebody getting cut open, does that kind of stuff? Can you watch stuff like that?
Yeah, like Saw, I'm good.
Yeah,
Saw, I can be eating food and watch it. I've actually done that before. I was eating a Subway sandwich.
Because they've remade that movie so many times, I've lost count. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
the original or
not the original, one of the remakes, one of the later remakes. It wasn't very good. I can't remember who was in it, but I just remember this one scene where Leatherface, the guy with the
deadly
chainsaw, right?
Super deadly.
Anyways, Leatherface, he's got somebody, basically, like, the guy wakes up, he's unconscious, and he's hanging like this. He's tied. He's like he's tied up by ropes. He's hanging in the air.
Like what? Like what?
In this
Show
barn.
It again? Show it again.
He's like, what's going? It's just like
there you go. Like a Rocky fucking celebration. Right?
Yeah, he's just like this, right? He's tied up, and Leatherface cuts off the guy's leg at the knee.
Oh, nice.
Right? And
cool.
Terrible. What makes it worse?
He like makes it eat it?
He grabs a bucket of raw salt and he puts it on the wound, and the guy's just screaming in pain. I'm just watching and going, that was
damn.
Not even chopping the leg off. It was the salt that got me.
Damn, I didn't know Leatherface was savvy like that.
Oh, he's twisted.
I thought he was just
pretty twisted.
Straight born, cut your shit off and leave you there. I didn't know he was twisted like that.
Cauterized the wound.
That's the shit that gets me. It's the psychological and like the parts that really trigger you. Right? Like cutting your leg off is one thing, but adding salt to it. It's yeah, man. I want you to watch the Poughkeepsie tape so you know what I went through.
Where did you watch it? Did you
stream it? I streamed it on some random site.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing is, it was supposed to be released.
Okay.
But they took it off.
Okay.
And then they released it again, but then they blacklisted it.
I'm gonna take a look and see if I can.
It's not rated, so you know it's already fucking lethal.
I'll find it or
when a movie
rent it or
isn't
something.
rated, it's lethal. You know that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll see if I can find it or rent it somewhere, and
I'll show you the site.
I'll report back.
I'll tell you off camera.
It's probably I can probably get it off of Apple or something.
No, you can't.
For
You can't. This fucking thing is not going to be on any fucking list.
It's too extreme.
It's too extreme. I'd be surprised if it's anywhere like on Prime. It's definitely not on Netflix. Netflix would just go belly up after that.
Well, but I would be surprised because they have lots of horror content. You know, there's also another streaming service called Shudder that I don't pay for, but it's exclusively curated content, like curated horror movies, and they do make some original content.
In other words,
I don't like horror movies enough to want to pay just to see horror movies because I don't watch them enough. But if I was a bigger horror fan, I probably would, because it looks like they have some interesting stuff on there. So
you want to know something interesting about horror movies?
What?
I was thinking about it. As a kid, I was terrified. Wasn't a fan. Couldn't do it. As I got older, horror movies actually became more of my go-to. And you know why that is? Because what's scarier than reality and real life? What's scarier than that? The world we live in. Right? Taxes.
Yeah.
Having a family, protecting your family.
You know what really scared me as a kid? those Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And it's funny because now I'm such a big fan. I've watched those movies many times. Those movies really freak me out. Just the...
Is that Freddy?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger. Just the burnt face with the claws and knowing that he can kill you in your dreams.
Yeah.
That just, oh my God, sleeping with the lights on.
Because he can come out of nowhere, anywhere.
Anytime you go to sleep, that's where he lives. He lives in your dreams.
That's
basically.
hot. That's really hot.
So,
you know, yo, okay. You know who is? I feel.
Hey Mo, have you been a good boy this Christmas?
Yo, you need to stop with that. I can't believe you just did that.
Get over here.
What the Yo, we should, next guest we have on, we'll just change the setting to that. So, what do you think of this? That is fucking unreal.
yeah, have you seen those Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
No, I actually haven't.
So quotable.
Yo, what was that?
I'm your boyfriend now, bitch.
Matt, I would have so much fun with that. I'd be on that all day, just like calling people, just like scaring the fuck.
Randomly call.
Yeah. Hey man, we're still hanging out tonight.
Just call. I don't know. Just call Domino's.
Yeah.
I'd like to order a pizza, please.
Oh, and then she like the person working is like, oh, okay, cool. What do you want? Yeah. They
Is
just
something wrong with your voice, sir?
Yeah.
Oh my balls just dropped.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm
Yeah.
14. I'm going through puberty.
Oh, right on. Okay, so for our special today, we have a large pepperoni pizza with a side of garlic bread.
I'd like a meat pizza with 9mm bullets on it.
Okay, we actually don't serve bullets, but we do have razor blades.
Perfect. That's perfect for me.
Okay, awesome. So that's...
Stick that right in the oven. Oh yeah.
Yo, we should do one episode just like that.
Yeah, just do
I'm
do
serious.
60 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Watch all
While I'm talking normal, and
all
you're
of our
just-
listeners are gonna dry up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Man. Okay, one thing I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Fuck. Oh, I bet you if there was one scary movie villain that girls
Yeah.
thought that is hot,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers.
What?
Think about it. No, think about it. The guy's like what? 6'8", 6'6", 6'8". I went. Yeah, listen. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Seattle, and there was like a pop culture section.
Yeah, I've been there.
And there was the prototype of Michael Myers. The guy's damn near 6'10". Okay, so he's got the height, he's got the build. He walks around like he owns shit. He's on his purpose, right? His strut, his walk. You kidding me? So confident. Perfect alignment in the back. You know? Perfect fucking stature. Okay, he's on his purpose. He doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks of him. He does his thing. Right? I feel like girls would think he's pretty daddy.
But he also massacres people.
Right. I mean,
There's
that's his toxic trait. I mean, who doesn't have a toxic trait?
Yeah, he has everything that I want in another human being, except for the fact that he dismembers people. But everyone's got their strengths.
Yeah. And weaknesses. His weakness just happens to be really bad.
I'm gonna keep him in line.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely think so. Just the way his what do you call it when you have his posture? He walks with purpose.
His masculine voice.
Yeah, fuck. I wonder how he
Turn on.
I wonder how he sounds like just like that. Fuck, it's over with. He's taking all the girls. He's bagging every chick if he has that voice.
Give me your phone number right now. This is getting weird.
We should probably end this show.
How would you weird out Michael Myers where he doesn't kill you? Right? Imagine like he walked in your house ready to kill you, do something, and he just U-turns. Like, I'm out.
With the mask? With the mask on?
Yeah. You put on the mask too.
Do you know what what the mold of that mask is from? That's actually
semen?
William Shatner's mold.
Who the hell is William Shatner?
William Shatner. You're joking, right? Have you never seen the original Star Trek series?
No,
Captain Kirk?
But did he?
That's his face.
Did he shit himself?
What are you talking about?
Shatner?
That's
he shat
his
himself?
last name. Don't be.
Yeah. Did he shat himself? Did he shit himself? Shatner? Is that why they call him?
That's super creative. That's super original. No one's ever done that before. But that seriously, the Michael Myers mask, that's a mold of his face.
Why that guy? Why couldn't it be like Tom Hanks?
I don't know where that came from, but I know that is a mold of his face.
Like they just looked at this guy and they're like, this would be
that mask. But that mask is so creepy, though. You know what, the problem that I have, and this is why I also don't like slasher movies in general, because it's all the same crap. But the main problem that I have with those movies, with those Halloween movies, is that Michael Myers is supposed to be this regular guy. He's not like Jason, right? So
yeah, how does he not die? Yeah,
every time he's just and even in the last when Jamie Lee Curtis came back to do those Halloween movies again, like a few years ago,
burns him alive.
You know, he escapes from jail and he's got to be what, 70? And he's still plowing through people, like just taking a beating. Like he'd be a fragile man, right? And just nothing. You get hit him with a baseball bat and he'll still get up. And it's just completely. My problem is it's completely unrealistic.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way. Even if he's in good shape, the beating that guy takes.
Yeah.
Like nothing slows that guy down.
Fuck. He has a great physique.
I guess if he's been in jail all that time, that's all he's doing is he's just pumping iron. Maybe that's why he's so strong.
He's fucking diesel.
Yeah,
he's a diesel.
He's a big guy.
Yeah. Well, I think I read it somewhere or watched it somewhere on YouTube because I was curious about that too. I'm like, okay, so this guy doesn't die, just taking like 8 bullets to the fucking chest. What is he, fucking 50 Cent? So I think one of the theories is that he personifies evil and the devil. So
there is a supernatural aspect to it.
Yeah, he sort of just like he sort of
almost possessed in a way.
Possessed it in a way. He wasn't like that until he did at some point. And you know, evil never dies, the devil never dies.
That's kind of interesting. Oh no, I buy that. I buy that. Yeah. So that's the only way you can explain it, right?
He personifies evil to like the highest extent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he kills anyone for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's soulless.
Yeah, he's soulless.
He's just a machine.
Right. He's just
he has no sense of there's no sense of right or wrong. It's just very black and white.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
He's singular focus, like this is the only thing I'm going to do. And nothing else matters.
Like tunnel vision to a T.
Yeah, like just inhuman in a way, just like completely devoid.
So that's what I mean,
devoid of all emotion.
Exactly, yeah. Like past the level of psychopath and sociopath. Like that's why he has no soul. He's like,
you just look at that person. You just look into the eyes of someone like that and you say, and you just think there's no human being there.
Yeah.
There's nothing there behind those eyes.
Right.
It's just a killing machine.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one of the. Imagine being like that, man. Which
begs the question: why don't they just put him on the electric chair? Like that guy. That guy's not safe. You can't have that guy in prison. If he gets out, he's gonna wreak havoc.
Right.
Like
why not cut his head off? Why not cut his head off?
Cut his head off. Like seriously, you cannot risk that person ever escaping. They're unstoppable.
Dude, imagine how fucking scary would that be if you knew that there was something like that in like the outskirts of Alaska, just like completely buried and like shackled to like 7 different pillars of ice.
Don't say that. I'm never gonna sleep again.
There is something or someone like that out there. How fucking, like, how on edge would you be at all times?
I'm already on edge right now.
Because there is.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You're putting thoughts in my head.
Alaska. If anyone listens from Alaska, they're like, fuck.
There's something.
Dude, imagine.
Something here under the ice.
His name's Mikey.
Before we freak everyone out, we should remind people to enjoy their day every day.
Oh yeah, enjoy your fucking day, everyone. You know.
Episode 26.
And don't watch the Poughkeepsie tapes.
But I should watch it. You're
should.
Telling everybody else not to watch it except for me.
I want you
to torture me.
Yeah,
that's what you want
to do. I want you
to
to understand what I went through for an hour and.
You want me to
20
feel
minutes.
your
For
pain?
An hour and 20 minutes.
Is that what you're saying? You want me to feel your pain?
Feel my regret. My crippling anxiety and paralyzation of all sensory.
Well,
motor.
I'm gonna take a bullet for the team, and we'll see.
9mm.
If you don't hear from me ever again, then you'll know what something bad had happened after that movie.
Peace. Enjoy 24, episode 26.